The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Fizz whiz bang, it is the NeuroDADverse. I am Ben and this is Danny. And as you just heard, we get together each week to talk about our wins and challenges of parenting neurodivergent children. Yes, that's right. It's the podcast for, about, and definitely by parents of neurodivergent children. So welcome. Hi, Dan.
How you doing, bud? Love that intro line.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm okay. As we were just talking off before we hit record, it's very dark, and maybe that will come into some of our conversations about seasonal affective stuff. And yeah, I'm okay. How are you?
A little bit tired. It's the penultimate day of my half term, or not my half term, Frankie's half term week. So
Oh yeah, of course.
just it's been a nice-ish week, but just tired. Not sure why. Just
We normally kick off by talking about our week in 3 words. I'm going to abandon a game of tennis because it's not because the clocks have gone back, and it's more a game of I don't know what it's a game of. But do you want to run through them quickly? What your ones are, and then I'll reply mine.
absolutely. So I was just trying to work out if I can make a 3-worded. So unsettled, social butterfly, and perseverance. So USP.
No, nice. I didn't think about that. I've got friendships, crafting, and celebrations.
Friendships. Oh, I could have had it as ups. Unsettled, perseverance,
yeah.
social butterfly. But yeah, anyway. Oh, okay.
UPS,
Yeah.
because this is the podcast delivering our opinions or something. Oh
UP
dear.
UPS, feel free to get in touch if you want to reach out to
Yes.
the neurodivergent community.
Because NASA aren't returning our calls. Long-term listeners will understand. But yeah, so what kind of was going on for you this week that might pop into your wins and challenges, mate?
So my week included half term with Frankie, so solo parenting, half term, a couple of days of send gym and clubs, Halloween, a few gatherings / parties, and roadworks.
Oh yes.
Planned road maintenance.
Nice. We had Halloween, of course. It was a return to school on Monday for Mabes and Wednesday for Oscar. It was also Mabel's birthday, day before Halloween, and we had 2 lots of Mabel and Oscar's friends coming over, and also had a day out in London yesterday with Mabel. So yeah, quite a busy week all told. Obviously, I was off and the kids weren't. So
Yeah, that sounds like you had a busier week than your half term week.
well,
Good on you.
I had nothing else to do, so I thought I'd pack in some activities. So yeah, it's good. Do you want to go ahead and tell me quite what we're starting with challenges as we always do. Do you want to go and tell me what, in addition to the roadworks, was challenging, and quite specifically what the challenges of the roadworks were? And if they weren't the challenge, that's great. I'm still hooked in.
I'm sorry to disappoint. I was trying to work out what else could I say, but roadworks, planned road gas works in our road was the main challenge of the week. There is going to be a lighter element that does come from it, but my 3 words were unsettled, perseverance, social butterfly. The unsettled is pretty much the effect that the roadworks had on Frankie. We've had a week of a lot of quite sort of happy, I would say, dysregulation. he hasn't been 100% himself, but he's been like mostly himself. But we've had a couple of challenges. So they started the Roadworks on Monday. And initially it was cool because there's people walking up the street, cordoning off little sections. They haven't dug up the whole roads. They've done like 1.5 meters, 2 meter holes every sort of 10 meters. But one of them was directly in front of the front of the house. And yeah, so initially
it feels like for Frankie, some of the roadworks will actually be quite interesting. Like, oh, the van has parked there. Oh, this part is blocked off. Sorry, I'm paraphrasing him, infantilizing that bit, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like he would enjoy the chat, watching the things change. But obviously,
definitely.
audibly, there's going to be a struggle.
Yeah, so for anyone who might be new to listening, one of Frankie's challenges with engaging with the world is he gets scared by loud / low rumble droning sounds. So building sites are really not something he particularly enjoys. He did enjoy the sort of first day because he could look out the windows and he got a really good look at them bringing out the trucks and scraping the tarmac, the rubble, whatever at that point. The drilling he wasn't a fan of. The flattening he was not a fan of. There was a lot of vibrations, so the house shook. Say shook, inverted. That was a little bit upsetting for him, I think. But he's been me and Amy use the term we like rhyming things, so he's been a Stimmy Jimmy a lot this week. There's nothing against anyone called Jimmy James or anything out there who also stims, but we say a few things like positive Polly, negative Nelly. We like rhyming in our household. So from sort of 7 a.m, he's trying to regulate. He's running up and down. He's doing lots of like physical stims. Singing like a thrush, stimming with his hands. And I could tell that he was getting quite unsettled because we just couldn't find things to watch on TV that would help settle. The YouTube, I'm so glad that I have been paying for a YouTube like paid account since the summer, which helped us go on holiday just to get rid of ads, because there's no way this week I could have lived waiting for 20 seconds every video. We're changing a video every 5 seconds. Like, we never would have watched a single video, I don't think, if I had to wait for the 20 seconds. So that was a little bit of a blessing in that respect. But he didn't want to get dressed for a couple of days. It might be easier if I actually just kind of go through the week. So Monday, you found it interesting, and we were at home. We had someone come to visit us for an hour. That was kind of his less chill day because we actually had plans on pretty much every day this week, including today and tomorrow, to keep. That's the social butterfly from my 3 words. We were trying to keep him busy. And despite being really busy and being quite dysregulated, he's actually done quite well. So I just want to open with that sort of, this is the challenge in terms of seeing him and trying to help him engage with these things. But overall, I still feel like it was actually quite a big win, and it is part of the win. So Tuesday and Wednesday, he had an all-day club. I want to say all day, 10 till 3. And we got him out and we got into the clubs. And when he come back, it was just a lot because he was kind of G'd up before he'd even gone. Thursday, we went to the gym in the morning. Then we came back and we had no gas on Thursday because that was the day they were doing the main pipe changes or whatever. And unfortunately, that was probably the coldest day of the week. So in the afternoon, we went to go to Nanny's. And I said, Frankie, shall we go Nanny's? I showed him the picture, and he was looking at the door. He went and got his shoes.
Picture? What picture?
The picture of front of Nanny's house.
Oh, okay. Is that a regular thing? Like, you do that?
Yeah. So we've got a couple of
nice.
Well, they're not hex cards per se, but we have our version of
the
social
gym story stuff.
Yes, social story stuff. Yeah, exactly. So we've got the gym, Nanny's house, a couple of other places that we go regularly. Or if not, I show faces. I'm like, we go see Nanny or Nanny and Granddaddy coming here. Yeah.
Sorry to cut you. Does it work quite well?
Yeah,
has it been working quite well?
Yeah, he kind of just looks and he goes, and you can just see in his head, he's like, yeah, all right, we can go there. Then we open the door and then he'll start walking towards Nanny's.
Can I always, sorry.
No, go for it.
I'm trying to go through. Have you done the I haven't got a plan, but I've put 3 down or 2 down, and which one, Frankie?
Mm.
And then whatever he picks up, you go do.
We have not done that.
Or is it difficult if you just then pick up your phone and go, "Yeah, Nan, we're coming round now." But you know what I mean, like park or
We generally, well, we do kind of do that. If he goes and gets his shoes and stands at the door and be like, "Let's go, we're going out." Obviously, he can't tell us where he wants to
okay.
go. We don't have. So I then go Nanny's, and he looks at
Mm.
me like, and then we'll go, and
Okay.
he will walk us to Nanny's
Nice.
kind of vibe.
So great. It's so great, mate. That communication is so great.
But on Thursday, it was quite challenging. I didn't mind going through the process, but I just felt a little bit for him because it was stressing him out. So they were directly outside our house doing not loads of drilling noises, but they were doing enough. And he was watching them through the kitchen window and sort of leaning back and forth, stimming how he does.
Yeah.
And he had his shoes on, so I put my shoes on. I got dressed, got a bag. Okay, we go. But it's cold. You got to put a coat on. At the moment, he's in a really bad way with when he goes to school in the morning. He doesn't want to put coats on ever. But as he's only walking 5 steps into a minibus, I just allow it. I'm not going to walk for half an hour to Nanny's
The
with
social,
no jumper on.
no, of course, but everything's on the twisted, like mixing desk, as you call it.
Yeah.
I am constantly surprised at this time of year when Oscar's quite comfortably regulated and is just wearing like a t-shirt and a hoodie. But you just kind of learn to go, all right, what's the balance? Like, am I going to fight this for you just go to the bus, or am I going to fight it for you to walk 20 minutes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, totally get it. I mean,
Okay.
Frankie's also a child that whenever we go out in the garden, he is barefoot. So in this weather,
yeah.
we've got patio. Pretty much 80% of the garden is patio,
Yeah.
and he, touch wood, hasn't had
Yeah.
a cold or anything yet. Like, so
Yeah.
I don't think he really feels cold that badly. Like when I was younger, I didn't feel cold that badly. Like I didn't know what
Yeah.
drafts were. As I've got a bit older, I'm like, oh, okay, that's what a draft feels like. So he's just knowing that thing. But I was just trying to make the point of you have to wear this if we want to go. And he did want to go, and he was getting a bit angry. And like, I just move. And I was like, we're going to do it. So I spent half an hour trying to put one coat on. They went, actually, I think there's another coat upstairs. Went upstairs, got another coat, tried for another half hour. Went, it's been an hour now. They're outside the house, moving slightly past the house. And I'm like, if we don't go soon, we're not going to sort of be able to get back in time, and you're going to want to eat and whatever else. So I just went upstairs and found the biggest jumper that I could. And he put that on straight away. And I went, oh, I didn't have this fault like 45 minutes ago. We could have been at Nanny's by now.
Yeah, but come on.
It is what it is.
Process of elimination, isn't it?
So he just doesn't want to wear coats. But I'm like, okay, really baggy jumper. I'm fine with that because and he was cool with that. And so then I opened the door and I went, this is where it's going to get tricky. Open the door. The noises aren't on particularly loud outside the house, but I think there was another team squad crew, whatever you want to call it, slightly up further around the corner, and you could hear drilling noises or roadwork noises. And he spent another sort of 10-15 minutes. I just stood one step outside the door, and I do this little trick where as soon as I open the door, I put my key automatically on the outside in case he does a runner. All I've got to do is shut the door, turn and run instead of trying to get it. And so I did that because I thought he might do a runner here. And after about 10-15 minutes of running closer, getting closer, he then just ran straight past me. And I was like, okay, cool, shut the door, lock the door, turned round. Usually he runs 2 or 3 steps and he's stopped. I turned around, he was already like making a runner for the end of the road past.
Oh, right, to get past and away from the other.
Yeah, okay. So I had to sprint, and I caught him just before we got to the corner of our road to try and hold his hand, and then he ran because I thought he might just run straight into the main road that we live off. He turned to the right to go down the hall towards where Nanny lives, and he must have ran maybe half distance to the next little road. We're like one of 3 roads on a hill. And then at that point, he just turned around immediately and wanted to climb onto my shoulders. And I went, okay, I'll carry you. I was expecting you were going to want to be on my shoulders from the off. So I was kind of pleased and happy with him that he persevered through that. And I thought, here we go. I'll just carry Tony's. But I must admit, I hadn't run properly for a few months since I sort of hurt my knee. I kind of hurt the knee a little bit trying to keep up with him. Wasn't ideal. So I we were taking a much slower than average sort of pace walk for me to go to his nan's. It's about I could walk it in 20-ish minutes probably. With Frankie, it's about 30, 35. We took about 40, 50 minutes on this occasion. So it was quite a long time, nearly 2 hours from, all right, shown in the picture to actually getting to minutes. Halfway along, there was another set of roadworks I had no idea what was happening in front of us, and I could feel him on my shoulders getting
Oh,
etchy, and I was like, what are we going to do here? Because this is the way. When we go this way, this is the way that we
yep.
go. He got off my shoulders. He started to sort of run backwards. So I grabbed his hand. I was like, don't run backwards. I said, let's go this way. Just thinking there is a natural sort of other way to go, but we've never gone there. And as soon as we were around the corner a few steps, he turned around, wanted to come up on my shoulders, and then he let me walk in this completely different way to Nanny's house. But
Wow. Okay.
the last sort of 5 minutes is on the other route to Nanny's. If I hadn't have gone that way, I would have gone this other
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he kind of recognised where we were going, but he was absolutely fine with it. And I just think it was
Well,
because
that's
he just
good.
obviously didn't want to be anywhere near the noise. So again, that was like another small win from the challenge. But yeah, and then the
Tough.
weekend, Friday Friday, they actually then started tarmacking the road. I was like, here we go, result. They have actually done it in 5 days here. It's not going to linger on. But then it was the flattening machine on the,
Yeah.
and that was sort of shaking us. And then Friday, Saturday, and the spawning a little bit, they were just finishing off. He didn't want to get dressed because he thought we were going out. So for Halloween, we were having some people over.
Yeah.
And I was trying to dress us up as minions like we did last year. He saw me and Amy sort of
Nice.
get half dressed, and he looked at us and was like, I'm not getting dressed, because he then thought we were going out again. It just took a lot for him to get through
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
leaving the house, but I'm really proud
Did you
and
manage?
pleased for him that he did.
It sounds really like. So when you got out of the house, was it noisy drilling,
N-
or
uh,
did
Not
or
as
did
loud
he
as it
go?
could have
Or,
been.
okay, fine. So but there was drilling. It's not like he was able to go, that's going to drill in a minute. I need to get away from it. It was actually in the moment. So actually, there's like good regulation there. Like running into a road is not good, but he didn't do that. He was like, "I can't be around this."
Mm.
So, and he's got that sensitivity with his ears, isn't he? So it's not like you can. I mean, maybe you have tried noise cancellers,
Yeah,
but
they depended.
nothing's going to help when you're next to a drill.
Yeah,
So
I did try and get some headphones out, because we have been getting him to listen to music via headphones. He's got a Yoto box, and that you put cards in that, and then it
yeah,
plays. But those headphones aren't big. Like, I was thinking about using these ones, because these are really nice, but these are also my work ones, and if he wants to chuck them, they're probably too big for his head as well. So I just thought, we'll just go for it. I said, we'll try this. But it was the best thing for us on Thursday to try that, because it was cold and it was warmer to go out and go to Nanny's than it would have been sitting in the house, because we was out of gas from 7 a.m. to about 8:30. But that's fine. They told us at some point they were going to shut it off. But that was the only day where I had to walk him somewhere. For the clubs, we had my mum she comes and picks us up and takes, so she could drive close, if not to the drive, so he could get in. But even then, he would take sort of 5-10 minutes to transition out, but he only had 4 steps to make, not literally run the whole length of the road. So roadworks, I'm really hoping there aren't any scheduled again anytime soon. That's the first time since we lived here for 3 years that we've had to deal with roadworks. But he found them equally interesting, but also was obviously messing with him, because every morning about 7 o'clock, let's say, he was just showing signs he was trying to regulate. And then us having a really busy schedule in terms of trying to keep him busy to try and take his mind off it, having people over and going out. That's also a lot for him. We've probably done a lot
yeah,
in this half term, more than we do other half terms. And it
yep.
didn't help that had we not have had
No,
drilling all week, I'm actually would have been really interested to see how he would have dealt with the social activities we had each day. But
yeah,
I am actually really proud of him for getting through it despite having that additional thing. But I think now, like, he's been yawning from 2 o'clock in the afternoon the last 3 days. He's clearly tired. And the last sort of challenge, I've realised I've been monologuing for a little while, people.
it's all right.
The last little challenge, which will lead into potentially next week's challenge, is when he was trying to go to sleep over the weekend, we started to get fireworks, and he doesn't like fireworks. So he's been super tired since 2 o'clock. He gets to the point where we're
Yeah.
laying in bed in pitch black. He's proper snuggled down. He's going to sleep, and then fireworks start for like half an hour. So last night, again, our situation now, saying it took 2 hours almost to the minute to get him to go to bed last night. Some people might be listening going, it takes us hours. And I'm
Yeah.
with you people, a few years ago, he would not go to bed before 10 a.m. at night, 11. We would not get nights.
Yeah.
We would all just go to bed and go, God, he's asleep. We might as well go to sleep as well, kind of thing. So if your situation is, it takes me all night to get my children to bed, I've been there. I understand. We've got into a bit of a better routine where he's now more tired because he engages better at school, but he just can't do fireworks. So we had Diwali at the start of the week, last week.
Awesome.
Then went into
Yeah.
half term. So we had fireworks. Then we've been half term with Roadworks. And now we're about to go into bonfire night weekend. It's just probably literally the worst time to have a week of roadworks.
Yeah. Of course.
But yeah, so that's my
Seems
challenge.
like it seems like you could have come on here this week though and gone, we didn't go out at all this week because of the roadworks. So
Absolutely.
not that I want to go not that I'm trying to say it actually
No,
wasn't
I
that
understand.
bad,
Yeah.
but like these noises will be in the world and those kids, all kids.
Yeah. I think the
on
benefit was
neurodivergent children have to kind of work out a way to deal with that. And it's interesting what you said about music, because both the kids, if we're out in public, they're locked in. If we're traveling and moving, they're locked into audio.
Yeah, that's good.
Oscar's running YouTube like videos or songs from YouTube videos, and Mabel's listening to music the whole time. So much so that we have to put them and be like, okay, now we're here. Can we stop or wherever we're going? So yeah, I get it. But
Yeah, I think what could have my worst fear for that week outcome, because again, if they'd have chose the week before or next week, he would have been at school. Most of this would have been mitigated. It wouldn't have impacted him getting picked up because the bus could have got here. Getting home the road might have been blocked, but again, could make provisions for that. I just didn't want him to feel like he was a prisoner in his own home, which the last couple of days kind of have, because we had more people come to us, but also the noises haven't been as bad, but it's been a long week now, so it's just, what my worst thing was, he wouldn't want to do anything, wouldn't want to go anywhere, but he's also completely dysregulated because he can't get out because he's too anxious about it or stressed out by it, but he's also not enjoying himself being at home either. Haven't been allowed in the garden because this isn't a great, half term for activities and weather. So the last couple of the few hours this afternoon and yesterday, it was dry enough and there was no work. He's been in the garden having a good time, and I think that's really helped. So
yeah, cool.
there ends my epic Lord of the Rings rant on challenges that might not have sounded too challenging, but again, it went better than it could have. So
Nice. Well, thankfully, my challenge this week is a little bit more less epic in length, more like an episode of Pingu. I don't know. Are they short? I think they're not as long as
5
they're not
minutes.
as long as they're not as long as Lord of the Rings. But it is quite a holistic one, and it's with teenagers now. So it's Mabel's birthday. So she's 15, and in January Oscar will be 14. It's become quite challenging for me, and I know I normally don't talk about like what's my personal challenge, but it is in terms of like parenting them. It's kind of watching them in a or being around and experiencing them in a deregulated state, whatever that may be. Their auditory processing, their temperature, their emotional regulation, their sociable battery, whatever. And witnessing that and going, for example, Oscar's life for a long time, it was like, they're struggling with that. I'll fix that. You know, like you do all the time with Frank, right? I can see that that's a problem. I'll put this in place. And to an extent, we've done that with Mabel, but that we didn't do it with the knowledge of that there was a neurodiverse need or neurodiverse traits. They've kind of come to the fore much later in her secondary school ages. But at the moment, the challenge for me is like, how much do I put this in? How much do I put this structure in place now? Because in that time, 15 to 20, you got to know yourself, and you have to know and it sounds so bad. At what point do I just let them suffer through that so it gives them both the reason to change or ask for the support? But that's super challenging because for a long time, it's, I've done Calm Your Heart Down with Oscar as my best example. And if Oscar become a little bit deregulated or a little bit overstimulated with a particular scenario, I've just been thinking, at what point do I decide not to do that
Mm.
and just watch and let them? There's no right answer, and I think it also will change family to family and neurodiverse need to neurodiverse need. But it is challenging.
I can understand that, yeah, for sure.
But I think that's also quite a truism for parents in general. It's just like you feel a lot of the time you can't do good for doing bad sometimes. But when there's kind of, we are on as I always say, when I'm talking about Mabel particularly, we are a diagnosis pathway, and I'm hopeful that we're going to get our final appointment of that soon. But yeah, it's just been, yeah, there's lots more opportunities to go, did I do the right thing there? But ultimately, it's just you just make a choice, right? It's that thing of like, what is the right thing to do? The right thing to do is make a choice and then go on and deal with it. Because
Yeah, gather some data for the next
yeah.
time.
Also, because you just look back and you'll always think, oh, I didn't make it, went wrong. So the other choice was the best choice. No, you made the right choice and you just deal with it. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird challenge this week. Just not knowing, and thinking, well, how do I support them in this way? But
Yeah.
it is
Your parenting
I
style's
guess.
changing then. That's what it sounds like. You're at the crossroad now of how much do you let them go
Well,
to.
I'm trying not to think of it in such a binary way, but I certainly am letting go a little bit of my no, sounds so bad. Not my responsibility, but like my
You're trying to let them use initiative.
structure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Structure. Both of them will need structure to support them living in the world. I think that's
Yeah.
true of all neurodivergent people,
Yeah, yeah,
neurodivergent children. At
yeah.
what point they learn that for themselves,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah, totally.
Because
You
it's
want Oscar to calm their own heart down without you
yeah,
having
yeah,
to.
yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean the windows for massive wins are there, but like I
Yeah.
suppose it's hindsight, isn't it? If they do it,
Yeah.
you're like, great, what a win. When they don't do it, you then feel like, well,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you don't feel great about it.
Because it's trying to
It must be
remove
hard.
yourself from the guilt that you've caused that negative. But yeah, it's come within. I was scrabbling around for a challenge, to be honest. It's been quite a good week. Feel like it's a winning week. So
That's amazing. And
yeah, yeah,
we're
it
allowed to
is.
have winning weeks. It's all good.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Yes, and which is good because there's been quite a lot, as I mentioned in the intro, it's quite a lot of busyness. So maybe we can get on to some wins. But perhaps we'll do that when we come back. What do you reckon?
Absolutely. We'll be back in a bit.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Welcome back to the NeuroDADverse, where it's all neurospicy and neurosparklery, because it's going to go boom if fireworks.
Well, technically, it would have gone boom, but we'll talk about that later, I suppose.
Whenever
Wait,
you're
it's
listening
Wednesday.
to it, it might have gone boom. Cool. So we're at the stage of the podcast where we talk about our wins. Are you right for me to kind of go first?
Absolutely. I think everyone's heard enough of my dulcet tones for this episode already.
Fine. So cool. We had a packed kind of social week. The kids were back at school. So we had a friend ascend. Mabel has a new ascend friend that I think I mentioned a couple of podcasts ago. We bumped into and is new to the school, and the parent told me that Mabel's been really, really kind of helpful. Like we said,
Friend from the gig.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
And so they both go to like an after school like music thing. They're both learning. Mabel's a singer, and her friend plays drums, and so the parent of this kid was like, "Oh, I can take them. And I was like, oh, that'd be good actually. Why don't you come over after? We can just do kind of round the table FIMO, which if you're a parent, you don't know what that is. It is make plasticine you make and then you bake in the oven so it goes hard. So like a clay thing, but it's all colourful. We've been doing it for years. It's quite a nice therapeutic thing. Oscar really
Nice.
enjoys it. So I thought, well, let's just lay that out and then see how that goes. Because kind of forced friendship stuff is always a bit stressful. But it was lovely. Just lovely, just chill. Um, um, yeah, the kind of girls get on very nicely. So that was lovely. And then we had Mabel's birthday where we went out for dinner with some of our friends. Oscar came, and one of Mabel's other friends came from like her longest friend probably uh from primary. Um, but what was lovely about that is they were all kind of like sat to my right, the three of them, Oscar, Mabel's friend, and Mabel. And they were just kind of like chatting and having their own like chit chat. And it was in a restaurant, which was relatively busy, but we went early. And that was just lovely because they were just socializing and it was normal. But there was, it was just nice. Our wait staff asked, since it was birthday, if she'd like a candle on her pudding so that we could sing happy birthday. And I said she would not like that. So yes, please. So classic did the embarrassment thing and she quite enjoyed that and liked that. General regulation was kind of like good. Round table eating, discussing. Oscar wore heels because they're fabulous. And Mabel just had a nice birthday time. She
How did
went
Oscar?
to
How did Oscar respond to birthday humiliation?
Oscar likes humiliating
Oh,
people.
okay, fine.
Sorry, that sounds awful. Like Oscar enjoys. We are quite a pokey, fun family, for example. Um,
You have
so
good
that's
banter. Yeah,
So
nice.
yeah, yeah. Although I do feel that word is
No, I understand. Yeah, I know what
just
you're gonna
an
say.
open door to be offensive. So
Yeah,
I think they have quite a good sense of. I think they have quite a good sense of humour, but often it comes at other people's expense, which I don't think is so bad in the correctest forms. So it was just lovely. Our friends were there who've got um a little baby. Uh, so that was good fun as well, and it just went off really nicely.
result.
Um, yeah, maybe we had some gifts, and we just did it very low key. And then we had Halloween. Oscar's friend, who we went to see them in town they went over to their house, like
Yep.
forging some new friendships from school.
Hmm.
They wanted them to come over. One of them couldn't, but one of them could. The parent was kind of comfortable doing a drop and go. We were like, cool, let's see how that goes. There was a little bit of support about like, this is what the dogs look like. I sent photos through. And then we were like, look, it's Halloween. We can stay and we can do Halloween activities. Mabel and her friend are going to go out. So Laura was going to go with them and I was going to stay unless they wanted to go as well. All left it very open, very chill. They wanted to go. So Laura and I and a dog and the four kids all went out about 5 or 6 rows for about an hour, just trick or treating, and it was just lovely because it was like, oh, look at our 2 kids in front of us
Mm.
with a friend of theirs
Doing something.
doing something, like with us, and they were all giggling and chuckling, and then Oscar and I and their friend came back here. They started watching Nightmare Before Christmas, and Mabel and her friend went around a little bit more with Laura. Then they had a little bit on their own, so it was a little bit of like responsibility, and it was
Nice.
good. And they had costumes and stuff, and it was just kind of cool and respectful. So yeah, just three massive sociable wins really, and it kind of got us to the point where we were just kind of going, they'll they'll be all right in social situations. They'll be all right because they can make sure their needs are met. It was just lovely as well. Been a long time coming that, so yeah, lovely, a lovely little win. What about you, pal?
So it, no,
Where is it? Other than when the drilling stopped, what is the other win of the week?
so I've got three little wins that all make. So the social butterfly and perseverance for my two of my three words. So Frankie's been very social this week.
Mm,
We've seen someone
sorry,
different
I'm so
every day.
sorry.
What?
I have another win. I
Oh,
did
go
the
for it. No,
sociable
go on.
wins.
Yeah, go on.
The four of us sat around a table and carved some pumpkins. And
Result.
usually when that happens, someone gets a little bit frustrated at a thing. Now that is either it's not going quite the way they want, it doesn't happen quite quickly as they want. Somebody deregulates. Somebody wants to borrow a particular thing. Someone's making too much noise. It just wasn't that this year.
That's good.
Everyone was just chill. It was about 40 minutes, and we just had Halloween playlist on in the background. Just nice. Everyone carved some pumpkins,
How
which
many
was very
pumpkins is this? One each? A couple each?
one each,
Right.
which was very, very different to our experience of picking them. Every year we go to the same field near us, and this is the first time we've done it when we had to do it after school because that's where their half term fell, and we drudged through the rain, and it was all wellies on, and it was horrible. And Oscar deregulated quite quickly because they couldn't find the exact one they wanted that wasn't rotten, and they were quite upset. So that actually to have that kind of turnaround was also like, "Oh, this is great." Um, yeah, and we
Oh,
had a lot
so
of fun.
did you go straight from picking to carving then?
No, no, no,
All right, okay.
we waited 24 hours because
To calm.
or did we? No, I think we did. Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, I think we did. Jeez, that makes it even better of a win. Sorry, go
No, no,
ahead.
that's why I thought I'll double check
Yeah,
because
no,
I'm
you're
like,
right. Yeah.
that
Oh, I should have
180
put it
happened
high.
quick.
I should have put it higher on the list. Yes, actually, that's true. We came in, we gave them we're straight from school, came in, half an hour um, to regulate. We did loads. It's a busy, busy week, but um, worth it.
Have you got
Sorry.
photos? Have you got photos of the pumpkins? I'll quite happily show you the what our pumpkin activity this year wasn't quite as good as last year. Last year, Frankie really enjoyed holding and trying to attempt to
Okay.
cut through the pumpkins with Amy. We did it yesterday morning, standing there about 7:30 because we've been up early because of the works and whatever. And he just looked at her the whole time and was like, "Yeah, that looks fun, Mum. You crack on with that." And he went in the living room and started playing with trains or whatever.
Yeah, fun.
So got two nice looking pumpkins, but he
Nice.
didn't partake. What he has been doing though all week, half week, how many days we've had the pumpkins, he has well, this is a win, I suppose, as well. So it's not a complete wasted full process, listeners. So Frankie isn't a fan of decoration and rooms changing.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Christmas is quite challenging because the school and whatever from the start of December, wherever the whole thing's different. It starts to play on his mind a bit. We decorate. Amy loves a theme. She would happily dress the whole house every week in some kind of theme. This year we put actual pumpkins in one place in the kitchen, and we had two very small Halloween features, shall we say? So a little tombstone with a couple of fake pumpkins either side either side of the kitchen. Frankie tolerated them quite well, and every time he went past the pumpkins, there was 4 or 5 different sizes, different colors. Didn't know you could get grey pumpkins. Looks very silver. He would just walk past and lean right up to it and just like touch it, or maybe just like
All right.
rub his nose up against it.
Nice.
And then would just pick the big orange traditional looking one and carry it round into the living room, put it on the sofa, and then try to push it off. And I went, "You can't splat this all over our floor.
Yeah, of course.
Amy will not like that. So he was engaging quite well with the theme, actually.
Cool.
But he had no interest in carving them up, and
Okay.
he hasn't been bonus associates. So so big win was him being social, seeing people. He's seen someone every single day this week, or he's been to a club or an activity where he has interacted with people. So he's given a lot more eye contact. He's quite happy to walk up to people and just like say touch take them by the hand and communicate in his way. So that was really good, despite having all the challenges of being completely dysregulated by like 7 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning.
of course.
That was really
Nice.
nice. The transitions for so he's been going to since we've been doing the pod, he's probably done 5 or 6, 7 sessions actually of this club that he can go to 10 till 3. He had it Tuesday and Wednesday, which was nice because they were back-to-back days. Tuesday, when we got him into the car from trying to get him into the car from the Roadworks, we went there, we left him plenty of time. We stood in the outside area for about 15 minutes. Then as people started to arrive, it only took him about 10 minutes to go in, which was nice. Normally that can take a good 20 minutes, half hour, 40 minutes sometimes to get him to want to go in the room. So that was a massive win. When we went and did it on the Wednesday, we left same sort of time, a good half hour. He actually went straight into the car the second day. So he didn't, because he'd done it the day before, he just went, yeah, all right, I'll walk into Nanny's car.
Yeah.
We had to go for a little bit of a joyride for like 20 minutes, just like we went the longest way possible to get there because we can't get in physically to the premises early. We arrived at about 5 to 10. We went straight in, drove round, and then he got out the car, and then he was running up to the door. I got some photos, I'll send them to you. He was pulling open the door and peering in like, I want to get in. And as soon as I opened the door, he walked straight in. I was just like,
Amazing.
wow. Like
great.
literally this time 6 weeks ago in the summer, I was waiting outside for 40 minutes trying to get him to go in.
Yeah.
So that
Save space.
hopefully
Save
could be a win.
space. Save space.
And
And
then
also familiarity, right?
yeah, I think he's just been going to this place long enough now. And again, the process of me, Nanny takes him, we park in the same space, we walk round, we go in. It was really nice, and I was really pleased for him that he could go in there and get an extra 20 minutes, half hour of an activity
great.
that he normally misses out on. But the main win, despite it being my challenge or Frankie's biggest challenge of the week, I must say massive shout out to the gas work crew team, whatever they're called. They have been amazing and very cooperative in terms of when we said hi. We rung them and said we've got the thing through the door. You're doing works. This is our situation. Our son's got autism. Building works are not something he deals with very well, and the site manager was very understanding. Was that's absolutely fine. Whenever you need to go out, text me on this number that you've called me on. I'll shut all the machines down and I'll get all the guys to stop working, which he did on both. So when we went to both the gym days, they did that. I said, we're leaving at about 9:15. We're going to get back about 3:10. When we got back at 3:10, we could see that they were walking up the road. They basically took a break at that time of the day. And when it took us 2 hours or an hour to get out of the house to go to Nanny's, when we did get to the door and I spent that 15 minutes trying to coax him out once he was fully dressed, the guy very quickly went, do you want me to turn this off? I went, if you don't mind, because that was an unplanned one. I didn't text him. I just thought, he wants to leave. I wanted to see if he could get over that obstacle.
Reasonable adjustments. Reasonable
yeah.
adjustments.
So yeah, I cannot say more kind things about the team. Obviously they've got a job to do. It's loud. It's just part of the thing. It blocks off the road. It causes inconveniences on everyone's life in the street in one form or another. But they've all been lovely, and when we walked past them, they would say hello. They weren't necessarily expecting anything back. I just said, I was obviously say, Frankie says hello, thank you, Dada. But yeah, so despite it being rough and whatever, I couldn't have asked for a better lot of engineers, whatever they're called, to do the work. And it was nice because it was the same people. I've not really had a lot of major roadworks in places I've lived before, but I was assuming it could easily be different people every day, but it was the same sort of 5 or 6 people. So Frankie knew their faces. He's been watching them from the windows. And that was just really nice that they were whether they actually understand through experience or they're just actually very open to the understanding. It wasn't something I was actually expecting. I honestly thought this week would be a complete car crash, and we would be lucky if we could
What?
draw any positives
Good.
from it. And we've won 100%.
Love it.
And doing all of that while unfortunately only couldn't have any time off this week due to
Okay. Solo
work
prison. Yeah.
schedules at her end. So yeah, I was like, solo parenting this week could be like a very long, challenging week, but it's actually been
Yeah.
it's been good. It's been hard, but there's been a lot of positives thrown in there. So yeah,
Good.
that was my win, man.
Yeah, it's
That was
good.
my-
It's good. It's always nice when you come for a week, isn't it? And you're like, this is going to be really challenging, but actually,
Yeah,
we left the house. It's good. It's nice.
mindset wise, I was expecting it. I try, we do our forecast of the week ahead, and you're like, oh, that, and I really thought, gosh, they've chose the worst week really for Frankie's particular set of skills and situations, but we've come through it, so I'm very, very happy.
Well, since you mentioned the forecast, here's the best named bit of the podcast.
I
It's the
didn't
look
want to
ahead.
say it. Yeah, I didn't want to say it. I'll let you say
It's
it.
the look ahead to the week ahead. Thanks. That's my little bit of joy. I'm going to have to look into what is actually happening. Obviously, it's a normal school week. Oscar's first full school week. Yeah, like in terms of the planning. So both of them will be at school. I'll be back to school after my 2-week half term. What else happens? As just a regular week, Mabel goes to after school music on Monday. She goes to football training on Tuesday. Yeah. Excuse me. We're going for a day out to a town near us on Saturday. Kind of weather dependent. She wants to meet a friend.
Nice.
Mabel's got a football game on Sunday. Yeah, there is. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to start it this week. There is a new like cafe and barbers near us, and they do free. They've got like 2 or 3 chess boards set up, so they had like a chess club. So I going to try and make that a regular thing that Oscar and I go to, because Oscar does like chess, but Oscar doesn't really do any after school outs. So
I was just about to ask that. Does Oscar do any clubs? Yeah. No. I thought.
desperate for, well, not desperate. Yeah, I will say that. Laura and I are desperate for Oscar to get involved in some sort of amateur dramatics, because they are super expressive and super creative. But there is a social fear there. We're hoping that might change this year. So yeah, I might do that. But this week is Guy Fawkes night on Wednesday the 5th.
Wednesday.
So things will be going boom. And although Oscar finds that okay now, I still think just going out in the dark at between 5 and 6 at that time is just complicated. Both in terms of like sensory and also just people being out, just gets complicated for Oscar. But yeah, a general. Oh, and Laura and I are supposed to have an evening out on Friday, but we don't know about. So that might be my mum might have them for a sleepover. But yeah,
You're having
we'll
a
see.
social life. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No,
Well,
no,
yes,
that's amazing.
we'll tune in
Attempt.
next week to find out if we went out together for an evening.
No, that's lovely.
What about you? What's on the plan for next week, my friend?
So tomorrow
Back to school, right?
it's back to school, but tomorrow is an inset day. So
Oh, nice.
Amy is off. We are going to do a family out.
Oh,
We'll see how this goes after the week we just had. I've said it's been good. But it
beach.
has
You go to
also
the
been-
beach.
Not in this weather, no. We're attempting to go to a place called the Discovery Centre in Stratford. So a trip on the trains into London, and it is a send activity venue.
No,
is
rad.
all I can understand. So we have booked to do a particular activity at a certain time. I think it was midday.
That doesn't sound very send. Very, very
It's a
specific.
send activity.
Arrive between this window, please. Sorry, I'm making light of it. You know
No,
what I
no,
mean?
no. Yeah, it's an activity
can-
within the activity hall, but
Yeah, you could be regulated between these two.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's
So-
good.
if it happens, we've already had the chat over a dinner before coming to record the pod. Was like, we're both really proud of his week, but we understand it's taken a lot out of him.
Mm.
So if he wakes up tomorrow,
Is Roadworks done?
so I believe so. It looks like they've tarmacked outside our road. It has been raining a lot, so I don't know if there's anything to do around the corner. We live like on a road that not the long road, but it just goes round. So there might be some stuff on the far side that still needs doing, but all of the roadblocks are out.
Sorry.
Absolutely. Trick or treaters.
No, it sounded like a firework, but like right outside my door. We'll soon find out.
I didn't see any sparks or anything over your shoulder there, so
Well,
well,
thanks.
so yeah, we're not going to
Okay.
we're not going to force it. It'd be nice if we could try it, but maybe just a bit too much. And then it's back to school, and again, it's the day before school. So is that a lot? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he also probably will be gagging to go back to school because we're really fortunate that Frankie loves school. And then, as you've already said, it's fireworks night, and I don't know how that's going to go. Frankie does not like fireworks. We've just, I say earlier, we had Diwali last weekend. We've just had a load of drilling and loud noises this week. The last thing we really need is another weekend of.
Have you got to the
fireworks.
stage? Have you got to the stage where he can see them in the sky? Because Oscar used to absolutely, like, we used to have the dogs cowering. They still do. And Oscar would it felt like Oscar would feed off that energy. But as soon as Oscar made the connection, I know not all autistic people are the same, or children are the same. But like, then trying to spot the patterns of when's it going to go. I think Oscar found that a lot easier.
Yeah, more palatable.
So now, the years on, where they hear the first pop, they'll go, oh, and they'll look for it. But is it just the case that you're not able to kind of focus Frankie at the sky?
Yeah. I think one of our challenges, so this weekend and then last weekend, we don't know when they're going to happen. Like, I wasn't expecting any fireworks this weekend because in theory it's a bit early. It always happens just as he's about to nod off, just Sod's Law sort of, 7:30, boo, boo, doo, boo, doo. And you're like, we spoke to one of our Zen friends, came around today with her kids that are in Frankie's class, and she said she had people around where she lived, not too far, like next town along from us, 1 o'clock in the morning, people were doing fireworks. And you're like, who is that for? I mean, that will annoy anyone. So we do we're in a fortunate position where, because we're at the top of a hill, on the crest of the top of a hill, we can overlook sort of the area, the hill, the lower ground behind us, where the last couple of years since we lived here, there are people that do have firework displays in their gardens. So to us, we can sit perfectly out of our living room window. Frankie, the last couple of years, though, keeps drawing the curtains across because I think he didn't like the flashing. I don't think he saw the colours. He just sees he sees the flash, then hears the noise, and he doesn't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to draw the curtain across and leave it, and hopefully he might stand there, because if Frankie can see what makes the noise, he's generally more tolerant of it, which is why the Roadworks was good, because he could see the crane. It would scrape when it makes that horrible scraping noise, the metal on the tarmac. But because he could see it, I could see he was getting through it more.
Yeah, and I guess
that's what I'm hoping, and I'm trying to put it on YouTube.
Processing a firework is different, isn't it? Because there's that disconnect between the flash and the bang. So and there they go. Yeah, they are happening.
Oh, I can't hear anything, but but what you just said there about how Oscar well with it. So Frankie has got better with other loud noises when he can make the connection. So for example, like birthday, he hates people singing together in unison and choruses. He doesn't like it. When people sing happy birthday, he used to run away. I actually filmed him at the one last weekend just to show how far he's come. He would run and hide in a corner now he associates, as soon as that's finished, I get cake. So now he tolerates the singing. He will
Mhm.
still hide to the edge, but as soon as they finish singing, he is straight up the front. As soon as I blow that candle out, he's like trying to claw
Yep.
bits of cake off their plate. So I'm hoping
Awesome.
we can kind of copy that behavior and just be like, there is a flash, there is a, but then you get to see
Yeah.
something cool. So yeah, tune in next week to see how that goes. Because in theory, when this goes out, it will be 2 days after, but also probably a weekend of where all the actual fireworks and bonfire displays happen. So yeah, I'm
Cool.
not looking forward to it immensely, but we'll see. I'm hoping
Hey, the
I
one thing
get
we do know
shots.
is they will surprise us. They do
Exactly.
surprise us. Okay, cool. We're gonna do bathtub scores. I'm gonna just scroll back up on my document to just check. I feel like we can do it relatively well. I know I can do it relatively quickly.
Absolutely.
We in our household are continuing. I'm gonna
Good
give it a
form.
6. I'm gonna give it a
Oh.
6.
Okay.
But it's still challenging. It was challenging last week just because we are in that mode of I've pushed the independence and now I want to take it away. It's fine. It's happening. The checking on how clean and how thorough is uncomfortable for
Mhm.
Oscar, I think. But we are getting there, and
That's good.
they are less grumbly about me asking. I don't know. I'm going to go and do so. So we are 6 this week. How is things for you, number wise?
We're in a good run. I said last week we might not continue. So far, we bathed just before the pod. I'd say it's an 8. He got in. He was
Oh my
happy.
god! Oh my god! It's 5 8s in a row.
Oh, is
It's a
it?
month. It's a month of 8s.
That's
It is
amazing.
a month of 8s
Yeah,
from the 5th of October right through.
that's amazing.
Last
Good
week
man.
was an uneventful 8. So maybe if we both get a run of 5 consistent 8s, we can retire the feature. I
We
don't
can,
think that's
yeah.
going to happen, but okay, good.
The nice little thing that happened was he has allowed Amy to brush bottom row of his teeth and top row of his teeth for at least 3 seconds in that bath as well. So
Why are you dropping this now?
huge.
This is a huge
Yeah,
win.
no, it well, it was keeping it to the segment. I've spoke a lot this
Dan,
podcast. I appreciate I've
your
taken up
win
the
was
mic a
about
lot.
your win was about the getting through some traffic noise. Some roadwork noise. That's a
Yeah.
massive win.
Well,
Bottom
that
row of
literally
teeth.
happened
Let's
an hour
go.
ago. Yeah.
Oh
No, it
really?
was.
Oh sweet.
Yeah,
I'm pleased. I'm really pleased.
so yeah,
Let's
then
go. That's excellent.
the last couple of weeks he's been more open to it. But yeah, when Amy said, "Shall we do teeth?" he literally looked at her and went and opened his mouth and let her scrape his teeth. So keep that up,
That's
little man.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it up. Cool. So sorry, I'm just staring on my phone because I know I need to share a couple of
Public service announcements.
well, kind of. Cool. So someone was in contact with us from a community in all across Kent, really. A thing called Dad Space, which is providing a space for dads to walk and talk and get together and talk about their experiences, which we will push to the hilt because it's one angle of our podcast is certainly to dads talking, but by no means is it just about that. But certainly dadspace.co.uk for any of those scenarios. I know there was a meetup that happened this weekend, and I know that there's a walk going on in Ramsgate from who contacted us? David, a guy called David. So check on our social medias, and if you want to kind of get involved in that, if you happen to be in the southeast of the country, but it feels like Dad Space or things similar might be happening kind of countrywide. So if you are a dad and you listen to this particularly, and if you are feeling the weight of parenting, but you don't talk about that with anyone, please do, and please find a place to do that because it lightens the load. This certainly lightens the load for me each week when we do this, and that's why we always say this would be a chat, a weekly chat, even if it wasn't a podcast. But yes, dadspace.co.uk or go onto our Instagram, and we will kind of be resharing that stuff throughout the week. I can't attend that particular one, but I may look into it in the future because of the type of stuff that I think is super important. So yes, that's
100%.
that. Thank you for getting in touch for that, David, and we'll push that. We'll push that. And again, if you are looking to promote anything anywhere that is related to parenting or neurodivergent children or adults, or just anything you think kind of would be good for us, to promote, we're happy to push those things out because, like I said, we do this because it really helps us put things in perspective week on week, and we kind of want the same for anyone who's listening or watching. So that's the little bit of that done. I should really have reminded myself of all of those things rather than just fumble through it like that. But that's it. Dadspace.co.uk and yeah, all over Kent. It's good. Sounds like a really good little thing they've got going on.
And you say that's tomorrow, as in the day after this podcast goes out next
Oh
week?
yes, sorry.
So Friday.
Yeah, the walk is across that weekend. So
Yes.
if you're listening to this on release day, then it will be across this weekend. But it doesn't seem like it's a one-off particular thing. It seems like it might be a regular community thing. So check that out.
Yep, sounds awesome.
Cool. All right. And yeah, if you are listening to this, thank you very much. Or if you're watching this, thank you very much. We do appreciate you guys linking in and listening to the podcast. If you've got any things that you would like us to talk about, if you have a particular win or challenge that you're not necessarily sure how to approach, we may have approached it before. So please, we might not necessarily know the answer, but please do get in touch. We are the NeuroDADverse at Gmail, on Instagram, and on TikTok. Right, that's lovely. I'm going to go off, look at some fireworks whilst running a bedtime and a bath time. You've done a bath time already, right? So you're just off to bed now.
At some point, yep. We'll see how it goes.
Absolute jealousy for that. But thanks. I'm just going to leave you with Danny telling you that from the NeuroDADverse, our neurosparkly and neurospicy safe place, that you're
doing great. You are enough, and you're definitely not alone.
That's good. That's
Win the week.
That's our best ending yet. Brilliant, dude. See you later.
Have a good one. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.